Question 1. Under Illinois law, what is the primary purpose of the most good faith principle in insurance contracts? A. To ensure that all claims are paid promptly. B. To require both parties to disclose all relevant information truthfully. C. To guarantee the lowest possible premiums for policyholders. D. To limit the insurer's liability in case of a claim. Correct answer. B. To require both parties to disclose all relevant information truthfully. Explanation. The principle of what most good faith requires both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and disclose all relevant information during the insurance contract formation. This principle is crucial in insurance because it ensures transparency and fairness, preventing any party from withholding information that could affect the contract's validity. This principle is rooted in common law and is a fundamental doctrine in the insurance industry. Question 2. Mr. Thompson owns a home in Illinois insured under homeowner's policy HO3. A severe storm caused a tree to fall, damaging his roof. Which part of his policy is most likely to cover the cost of repairs? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Correct answer. A. Coverage dwelling. Explanation. Coverage dwelling in a HO3 policy provides protection for the home itself, including the structure and any attached fixtures. In Mr. Thompson's case, the damage to the roof caused by the storm would be covered under this part of his policy. Coverage B covers detached structures, coverage C covers personal property, and coverage D covers additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered peril. Question 3. Which of the following best describes the role of a personal umbrella policy in Illinois? A. It provides primary liability coverage for the insured. B. It covers losses that exceed the limits of underlying policies such as auto or homeowners insurance. C. It provides coverage for damage to the insured's personal property. D. It offers health insurance benefits for the insured. Correct answer. B. It covers losses that exceed the limits of underlying policies such as auto or homeowners insurance. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage beyond the limits of the insured's underlying policies, e.g. auto homeowners. It acts as a secondary layer of protection, covering large claims or lawsuits that exceed the primary policy limits. This policy does not cover personal property damage or provide health insurance benefits. It solely extends liability coverage. Umbrella policies are critical for protecting assets and future earnings from significant liability claims. Question 4. In Illinois, which of the following types of personal property is typically covered under an inland marine policy? A. The structure of a home. B. A privately owned vehicle. C. Jewelry and fine art. D. The insured's medical expenses. Correct answer. C. Jewelry and fine art. Explanation. Inland marine insurance primarily covers valuable personal property items that are not adequately protected under standard homeowners or auto policies. This includes items like jewelry, fine art, and other high-value possessions. These policies are designed to cover items that are often moved from one location to another and provide broader protection against loss or damage. Question 5. Mrs. Anderson, living in Illinois, has a homeowner's policy HO5 that includes liability coverage. During a family gathering, a guest slips and falls on her icy walkway, resulting in medical expenses. Which part of her policy will cover the guest's medical bills? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage C. Personal property. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Correct answer. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Explanation. Coverage F. Medical payments to others in a homeowner's policy provides payment for medical expenses incurred by guests who are injured on the insured's property, regardless of the insured's legal liability. This coverage is designed to prevent small injuries from escalating into major liability claims. Coverage E. Personal liability would apply if Mrs. Anderson were found legally liable for the injury, but Coverage F provides immediate medical payment without determining fault. Question 6. John, an Illinois resident, recently purchased a personal auto policy PAP. He is involved in an accident where the other driver is at fault but is uninsured. Which part of his PAP will cover the damages? A. Liability coverage, Part A. B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D. Correct answer: C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C. Explanation: Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C of a personal auto policy provides protection when the policyholder is involved in an accident with a driver who either has no insurance or insufficient insurance to cover the damages. This coverage ensures that John can receive compensation for injuries and damages that the at-fault uninsured driver cannot pay for. This coverage is particularly important in scenarios where the responsible party lacks adequate insurance. Question 7. In Illinois, under a personal auto policy PAP, which of the following would be covered under Part D? Coverage for damage to your auto: A. Mechanical breakdown, B. Theft of the vehicle, C. Wear and tear, D. War-related damages. Correct answer: B. Theft of the vehicle. Explanation: Part D. Coverage for damage to your auto, also known as comprehensive coverage, provides protection against physical damage to the insured's vehicle from non-collision events. This includes theft, vandalism, fire, natural disasters, and falling objects. Mechanical breakdown, wear and tear, and war-related damages are typically excluded from coverage under a PAP. Question 8. Mr. Smith, an Illinois resident, has a homeowner's policy at Hoffrey. A severe storm causes a tree to fall and damages detached garage. Under which coverage part of his policy would this damage be covered? A. Coverage dwelling, B. Coverage B. Other structures, C. Coverage C. Personal property, D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Correct answer: B. Coverage B. Other structures. Explanation: Coverage B. Other structures in a homeowner's policy. Hoffrey provides coverage for structures on the insured's property that are not attached to the main dwelling, such as detached garages, fences, and sheds. The damage to Mr. Smith's detached garage caused by a falling tree would be covered under this part of his policy. Coverage pertains to the main dwelling. Coverage C covers personal property, and coverage D covers additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable. Question 9. Sarah, living in Illinois, has a personal umbrella policy. She is involved in a lawsuit where the damages exceed her underlying auto insurance liability limits. How does her personal umbrella policy respond in this situation? A. It pays only for medical expenses. B. It covers the remaining damages above her auto policy limits. C. It covers the damages up to her auto policy limits. D. It does not provide any coverage for auto-related incidents. Correct answer: B. That covers the remaining damages above her auto policy limits. Explanation: A personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage above the limits of the insured's underlying policies, such as auto or homeowners insurance. In Sarah's case, if the damages from the lawsuit exceed her auto insurance liability limits, her personal umbrella policy would step in to cover the remaining damages up to the umbrella policy's limits. This type of policy is designed to provide extra protection against large liability claims, ensuring that the insured is not financially devastated by a single significant incident. Question 10. Which of the following is true about the concept of utmost good faith in Illinois insurance contracts? A. It requires the insurer to disclose all policy exclusions to the insured. B. It requires both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and not mislead or withhold critical information from one another. C. It only applies to the insurer and not the insured. D. It mandates that the insured must pay premiums in a timely manner. Correct answer: B. It requires both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and not mislead or withhold critical information from one another. Explanation: The principle of utmost good faith is fundamental to insurance contracts. It obligates both parties, the insurer and insured, to act with honesty and integrity. The insured must fully disclose all material facts that could affect the underwriting decision, and the insurer must provide clear and complete information about the policy terms, conditions, and exclusions. This principle ensures transparency and trust between both parties. Question 11. In Illinois, under personal auto policy (PAP), what is the primary function of uninsured underinsured motorist coverage? Part C. A. To cover damages to the insured's vehicle in a collision with an uninsured driver. B. To pay for the insured's medical expenses after an accident, regardless of fault. C. To protect the insured against bodily injury and property damage caused by a driver who has no insurance or insufficient insurance. D. To provide coverage for personal items stolen from the insured's vehicle. Correct answer. C. To protect the insured against bodily injury and property damage caused by a driver who has no insurance or insufficient insurance. Explanation. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, in a personal auto policy (PAP) is designed to protect the insured if they are involved in an accident with a driver who either has no insurance or whose insurance is insufficient to cover the damages. This coverage pays for bodily injury and, in some cases, property damage incurred by the insured when the at-fault driver lacks adequate insurance. Question 12. Mr. Thompson, an Illinois resident, has a homeowner's policy (HO5). During a particularly harsh winter, his roof collapses under the weight of accumulated snow, causing extensive damage to his home. Under which part of his homeowner's policy would this damage be covered? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Correct answer A. Coverage. Dwelling. Explanation. Coverage. Dwelling in a homeowner's policy (HO5) provides coverage for the structure of the home itself. This includes the roof walls and other attached structures. The damage caused by the collapse of Mr. Thompson's roof due to the weight of snow would be covered under Coverage A. Coverage B pertains to other structures on the property not attached to the dwelling. Coverage C covers personal property, and Coverage D covers additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable due to a covered loss. Question 13. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in an Illinois personal lines insurance policy? A. Ensures that the insured profits from a covered loss. B. It restores the insured to the same financial position they were in before the loss without profit. C. It guarantees that the insured will receive a minimum payout regardless of the actual loss. D. It allows the insured to choose their payout amount after a covered loss. Correct answer. B. It restores the insured to the same financial position they were in before the loss without profit. Explanation. The principle of indemnity is a core concept in insurance, ensuring that the insured is compensated for their loss to the extent of restoring them to their financial position before the loss occurred. This principle prevents the insured from profiting from an insurance claim, maintaining the purpose of insurance as a risk management tool rather than a profit-making opportunity. Question 14. Scenario. Ms. Lopez owns a home in Illinois insured under a homeowner's policy (HO3). Her windstorm causes a tree to fall on her detached garage, causing significant damage. Under which part of her policy would this damage be covered? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Correct answer. B. Coverage B. Other structures. Explanation. Coverage B. Other structures in a homeowner's policy (HO3) provides protection for structures on the insured property that are not attached to the main dwelling, such as a detached garage shed or fence. The damage to Ms. Lopez's detached garage caused by the windstorm would fall under this coverage part. Coverage A pertains to the main dwelling itself. Coverage C covers personal property, and Coverage D provides for additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss. Question 15. In Illinois, which type of personal insurance policy typically includes of self-insured retention? Sir, requirement. A. Personal auto policy (PAP). B. Homeowner's policy. C. Personal umbrella policy. D. Flood insurance policy. Correct answer. C. Personal umbrella policy. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy often includes a self-insured retention requirement, which functions similarly to a deductible. The SIR is the amount the policyholder must pay out of pocket before the umbrella policy provides coverage. This type of policy provides additional liability coverage beyond the limits of the insured's primary policies, such as auto or homeowners insurance, offering broader protection against large liability claims. The inclusion of an SIR helps manage the cost of the umbrella policy by requiring the insured to share in the initial costs of the covered loss. Question 16. In Illinois, which of the following statements regarding the uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, Part C of a personal auto policy PAP, is correct? A. It covers property damage caused by an uninsured driver. B. It covers bodily injury sustained by the insured in an accident with an uninsured or underinsured driver. C. It covers medical payments regardless of fault. D. It covers damages to the insured's vehicle caused by a hit-and-run driver. Correct answer: B. It covers bodily injury sustained by the insured in an accident with an uninsured or underinsured driver. Explanation: Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C in a personal auto policy PAP, is designed to provide coverage for bodily injury sustained by the insured and their passengers when involved in an accident with a driver who either does not have insurance or does not have sufficient insurance to cover the damages. This coverage ensures that the insured is protected even when the at-fault party is inadequately insured. Property damage caused by an uninsured driver may be covered under separate uninsured motorist property damage coverage if available. Question 17 scenario. Mr. Johnson owns a home in Illinois and has a homeowner's policy HO5. During a severe storm, a power surge damages his home's electrical system and several expensive appliances. Which coverage part of his policy would most likely respond to this loss? A. Coverage. Dwelling. B. Coverage. C. Personal property. C. Coverage. D. Loss of use. D. Coverage. E. Personal liability. Correct answer: A. Coverage. Dwelling. Explanation: Coverage. Dwelling in a homeowner's policy HO5 provides protection for the physical structure of the home and any attached structures. Damage to the home's electrical system due to a power surge would typically be covered under this part. However, the damaged appliances may also be covered under Coverage C. Personal property if they are not considered part of the dwelling structure. The HO5 policy generally provides broad risk coverage for both the dwelling and personal property, subject to policy exclusions and conditions. Question 18. In Illinois, which of the following is typically excluded from coverage under a personal umbrella policy? A. Liability for personal injury claims. B. Liability arising from business activities conducted at home. C. Liability for damages caused by a recreational vehicle. D. Liability for bodily injury to guests at the insured's home. Correct answer: B. Liability arising from business activities conducted at home. Explanation: Personal umbrella policies are designed to provide broad, additional liability coverage beyond the limits of primary policies, such as auto and homeowners insurance. However, they typically exclude liability arising from business activities conducted at home unless specifically endorsed or covered under a separate business policy. This exclusion helps ensure that the umbrella policy remains focused on personal liability exposures rather than commercial risks. Other common exclusions may include intentional acts liability assumed under a contract and liability for certain recreational vehicles, unless endorsed. Question 19. In Illinois, which of the following statements is true regarding the medical payments coverage, Part B of a personal auto policy PAP? A. Only covers medical expenses for the insured if they are at fault in an accident. B. It covers medical expenses for passengers in the insured's vehicle regardless of fault. C. It covers medical expenses for the insured and their family members only when they are passengers in another vehicle. D. It covers medical expenses for third-party pedestrians injured by the insured's vehicle. Correct answer: B. It covers medical expenses for passengers in the insured's vehicle regardless of fault. Explanation: Medical payments coverage. Part B of a personal auto policy (PAP) provides payment for medical expenses incurred by the insured and passengers in the insured's vehicle regardless of who is at fault in the accident. This coverage helps ensure that immediate medical expenses are addressed without the need to determine fault, making it a valuable provision for prompt medical attention. It typically covers medical and funeral expenses for the insured, family members, and passengers. Question 20, scenario MS. Smith lives in Illinois and has a homeowner's policy HO3. During a burglary, her valuable jewelry collection is stolen. Which coverage under her policy would most likely respond, and where's a common limitation? A. Coverage C. Personal property with a specific limit for theft of jewelry. B. Coverage dwelling with no limitations. C. Coverage D. Loss of use with a specific limit for theft. D. Coverage E. Personal liability with a specific limit for theft. Correct answer A. Coverage C. Personal property with a specific limit for theft of jewelry. Explanation. Coverage C. Personal property in a homeowner's policy HO3 provides protection for the insured's personal belongings, including items like furniture, electronics, and jewelry. However, theft of high-value items like jewelry often has specific sublimits, meaning the policy will only cover up to a certain amount for these items, unless additional coverage is purchased through endorsements or riders. MS. Smith should review her policy to understand the sublimits for theft and consider additional coverage if needed to fully protect her valuable jewelry collection. Question 21. In Illinois, what is the primary purpose of a personal umbrella policy? A. To provide comprehensive health coverage for the insured. B. To cover damages to the insured's vehicle beyond the limits of a personal auto policy. C. To offer additional liability protection above and beyond the limits of underlying policies. D. To provide coverage for flood damage to the insured's home. Correct answer. B. $50,000 for medical expenses and $15,000 for vehicle damage. Explanation. In this scenario, Mr. Thompson's auto insurance policy will cover medical expenses under the medical payments coverage up to the $50,000 limit. Since his expenses are $40,000, they will be fully covered. For the vehicle damage caused by the uninsured driver, the uninsured motorist coverage will apply, but it only covers up to $25,000. Since the damage is $15,000, it will be fully covered by this limit. Therefore, the policy will pay $50,000 for medical expenses and $15,000 for vehicle damage. Question 22. Which of the following is a primary characteristic of the principle of indemnity in Illinois insurance contracts? A. It allows the insured to profit from a covered loss. B. It ensures the insured is restored to their financial position before the loss. C. It guarantees payment regardless of the cause of the loss. D. It applies only to life insurance policies. Correct answer. B. It ensures the insured is restored to their financial position before the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity is a fundamental concept in insurance that ensures the insured is compensated for a covered loss, but not allowed to profit from it. This principle aims to restore the insured to the same financial position they were in before the loss occurred, without resulting in a gain. It applies to most property and casualty insurance contracts, but does not typically apply to life insurance, where the payout is a predetermined amount. Question 23, scenario. Mr. Johnson owns a home in Illinois and has a homeowner's policy HO5. After a severe storm, his home sustains significant wind damage. Under which part of his policy will he find coverage for the damage? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage D. Loss of use. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Correct answer A. Coverage dwelling. Explanation. Coverage dwelling in a homeowner's policy HO5 provides protection for the physical structure of the insured home against covered perils, including wind damage. This coverage includes the home's foundation, walls, roof, and any attached structures. Since Mr. Johnson's home sustained wind damage, coverage will respond to the repairs needed to restore his home. It's important to note that while coverage D, loss of use, covers additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable, it does not address the actual physical damage to the dwelling. Question 24. In Illinois, what is the primary function of the uninsured underinsured motorist coverage? Part C. In a personal auto policy, PAP. A. To pay for the insured's vehicle damage caused by any accident. B. To cover medical expenses of the insured when injured by an uninsured or underinsured driver. C. To provide legal defense for the insured if they are sued. D. To reimburse the insured for stolen personal property from their vehicle. Correct answer. B. To cover medical expenses of the insured when injured by an uninsured or underinsured driver. Explanation. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, in a personal auto policy, PAP, is designed to protect the insured if they are involved in an accident with a driver who either has no insurance or insufficient insurance to cover the damages. This coverage helps pay for medical expenses, lost wages, and other related costs for the insured and their passengers. It does not cover vehicle damage, legal defense, or stolen personal property, which are addressed under different parts of the auto policy. Question 25. In Illinois, which of the following best describes the role of the state insurance department in regulating personal lines insurance? A. It sets premium rates for all insurance policies. B. It ensures that insurers maintain financial solvency. C. It provides legal representation for policyholders in disputes. D. It directly sells insurance policies to consumers. Correct answer. B. Ensures that insurers maintain financial solvency. Explanation. The Illinois Department of Insurance, DOI, plays a crucial role in regulating personal lines insurance. One of its primary responsibilities is to ensure that insurance companies operating within the state maintain financial solvency, which means they have the financial resources to pay claims. The DI does not set premium rates, provide legal representation for policyholders, or sell insurance policies directly to consumers. Instead, it oversees the insurance industry to protect consumers and maintain a fair and stable market. Correct answer. B. Ensures that insurers maintain financial solvency. Explanation. The Illinois Department of Insurance, DOI, plays a crucial role in regulating personal lines insurance. One of its primary responsibilities is to ensure that insurance companies operating within the state maintain financial solvency, which means they have the financial resources to pay claims. The DI does not set premium rates, provide legal representation for policyholders, or sell insurance policies directly to consumers. Instead, it oversees the insurance industry to protect consumers and maintain a fair and stable market. Correct answer. B. Medical expenses of the other driver. Explanation. Liability coverage. Part A. In a personal auto policy, PAP covers the insured's legal responsibility for bodily injury and property damage to others caused by an auto accident where the insured is at fault. This coverage will pay for the medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering of the other driver and passengers injured in the accident. It does not cover repairs to Ms. Clark's vehicle, her own medical expenses, or the replacement of her personal property in the vehicle, which would be covered under different parts of the policy, e.g., medical payments coverage, collision coverage, or personal property coverage. Question 27. Under an Illinois homeowner's policy, which of the following perils is generally covered under the Special Form HO3 policy? A. Earthquake. B. Flood. C. Theft. D. War. Correct answer. C. Theft. Explanation. The Special Form HO3 homeowners policy provides all risk coverage for the dwelling and other structures, meaning it covers all perils except those specifically excluded. While common exclusions include earthquakes, floods, and war, theft is typically covered. To cover excluded perils like earthquakes and floods, policyholders need to purchase separate endorsements or policies. The HO3 policy offers broad protection, but understanding the specific exclusions is essential for ensuring comprehensive coverage. Question 28. In Illinois, what is the primary purpose of an endorsement in a personal auto policy, PAP? A. To reduce the coverage limits of the policy. B. To modify the policy to include additional coverage or exclusions. C. To cancel the policy before its expiration date. D. To provide legal advice to the policyholder. Correct answer. B. To modify the policy to include additional coverage or exclusions. Explanation: endorsements in a personal auto policy (PAP) are used to modify the original policy terms and conditions. They can be added to provide additional coverage or to introduce specific exclusions. For example, a policyholder might add an endorsement to include coverage for custom parts and equipment, or to exclude a specific driver from coverage. Endorsements are a way to customize an insurance policy to better meet the needs of the policyholder. They do not inherently reduce coverage limits, cancel the policy, or provide legal advice. Question 29. Scenario: Mr. Thompson, an Illinois resident, has a homeowner's policy (HO3). During a severe storm, a tree falls and damages both his house and a detached garage. Which coverages under his policy would apply to the damages? A. Coverage for the house and coverage B for the detached garage. B. Coverage for both the house and the detached garage. C. Coverage B for both the house and the detached garage. D. Coverage C for both the house and the detached garage. Correct answer: A. Coverage for the house and coverage B for the detached garage. Explanation: under a homeowner's policy HO3, coverage applies to the dwelling, which includes the main house structure. Coverage B applies to other structures on the property that are not attached to the house, such as a detached garage. In this scenario, the damages to the house would be covered under coverage A, and the damages to the detached garage would be covered under coverage B. Coverage C typically applies to personal property within the home, not to the structures themselves. Question 30. In Illinois, which of the following types of insurance is specifically designed to provide excess liability coverage beyond the limits of underlying policies? A. Personal auto policy. B. Homeowners policy. C. Personal umbrella policy. D. Dwelling policy. Correct answer: C. Personal umbrella policy. Explanation: a personal umbrella policy is designed to provide excess liability coverage beyond the limits of the insured's underlying policies, such as homeowners and personal auto policies. It offers additional protection against significant claims and lawsuits, extending the liability coverage limits and covering some claims that may be excluded by other policies. This type of policy is crucial for individuals seeking higher levels of liability protection, ensuring they are financially protected in case of major incidents or legal actions. Question 31. Which of the following statements about the principle of utmost good faith in Illinois insurance contracts is correct? A. It only applies to the insurer, requiring them to disclose all material facts to the insured. B. It applies to both the insurer and the insured, requiring both parties to disclose all material facts. C. It only applies to the insured, requiring them to disclose all material facts to the insurer. D. It is not relevant to the insurance contracts in Illinois. Correct answer: B. It applies to both the insurer and the insured, requiring both parties to disclose all material facts. Explanation: the principle of utmost good faith is fundamental in insurance contracts, requiring both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and disclose all material facts that could influence the terms of the contract. This principle ensures that both parties have all the necessary information to make informed decisions. In Illinois, as in other states, failure to disclose material facts can lead to the voiding of the insurance contract or denial of claims. Question 32. Scenario: Ms. Jackson, who lives in Illinois, has a standard homeowners policy HO5. She recently installed a swimming pool in her backyard. What should Ms. Jackson do to ensure that she is adequately covered for any potential liabilities associated with the pool? A. Increase the limits on her existing homeowners policy. B. Add an endorsement specifically for the swimming pool. C. Purchase a separate insurance policy for the swimming pool. D. No action is needed as the homeowners policy automatically covers the pool. Correct answer: B. Add an endorsement specifically for the swimming pool. Explanation: adding a swimming pool can significantly increase liability risks. To ensure adequate coverage, Ms. Jackson should add an endorsement to her existing homeowners policy that specifically addresses the swimming pool. This endorsement will provide additional liability coverage tailored to the risks associated with owning a swimming pool. Simply increasing the limits on the existing policy might not be sufficient, and a separate policy is not typically required for a swimming pool. Question 33. Which type of inland marine insurance policy would provide coverage for valuable personal property such as jewelry, furs, and fine art in Illinois? A. Personal property floater. B. Personal effects coverage. C. Personal articles floater. D. Valuable papers and records insurance. Correct answer. C. Personal articles floater. Explanation. The personal articles floater (PAF) is a type of inland marine insurance that provides coverage for valuable personal property such as jewelry, furs, fine art, and other high-value items. This type of coverage offers protection beyond the limits of standard homeowners or renters insurance policies, often with fewer restrictions and broader coverage. In Illinois, as elsewhere, a personal articles floater ensures that valuable items are covered against a wide range of risks, including theft, loss, and damage. Question 34. In Illinois, which of the following is true about the coverage provided under uninsured underinsured motorist coverage? Part C. In a personal auto policy, A. only covers bodily injury caused by an uninsured motorist. B. It covers bodily injury and property damage caused by an uninsured or underinsured motorist. C. It only covers property damage caused by an uninsured motorist. D. It covers only the medical payments for injuries caused by an uninsured motorist. Correct answer. B. It covers bodily injury and property damage caused by an uninsured or underinsured motorist. Explanation. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage. Part C. In a personal auto policy provides coverage for bodily injury and property damage if the insured is involved in an accident with a motorist who either has no insurance or insufficient insurance to cover the damages. This coverage ensures that the insured is protected from financial losses caused by drivers who are not adequately insured. In Illinois, this coverage is particularly important as it helps mitigate the risk of encountering uninsured or underinsured motorists. Question 35. Scenario. Mr. Thompson, a resident of Illinois, has a personal umbrella policy with a self-insured retention of $1,000. He is involved in a lawsuit where the damages exceed his underlying policy limits. What is Mr. Thompson required to do before his personal umbrella policy provides coverage? A. Pay the entire amount of the damages out of pocket. B. Pay the $1,000 SIR out of pocket. C. Pay any amount of damages that exceed the SIR. D. No payment is required. The umbrella policy automatically covers everything. Correct answer. B. Pay the $1,000 SIR out of pocket. Explanation. A self-insured retention is similar to a deductible in an insurance policy. It is the amount that the insured must pay out of pocket before the personal umbrella policy begins to provide coverage. In this scenario, Mr. Thompson must pay the $1,000 SIR before his umbrella policy will cover the remaining damages that exceed the limits of his underlying insurance policies. This ensures that the policyholder shares in the cost of any claims, which can help reduce the number of small claims filed against the policy. Question 36. Which of the following is excluded under a standard homeowners policy HO3 in Illinois? A. Damage caused by fire. B. Damage caused by earthquake. C. Damage caused by windstorm. D. Damage caused by theft. Correct answer. B. Damage caused by earthquake. Explanation. A standard homeowners policy HO3 typically excludes coverage for damage caused by earthquakes. Earthquake insurance must be purchased as a separate endorsement or policy. This exclusion is due to the high risk and potential for significant financial loss associated with earthquakes. In Illinois, as in other states, homeowners should be aware of this exclusion and consider purchasing additional coverage if they want to be protected against earthquake-related damages. Coverage for fire, windstorm, and theft are generally included in a standard HO3 policy. Question 37. In Illinois, which of the following best describes the purpose of a personal articles floater in inland marine insurance? A. It provides liability coverage for personal items. B. It offers broader coverage for high-value personal property. C. It covers medical expenses for injuries caused by personal items. D. It insures real property such as a home or land. Correct answer. B. It offers broader coverage for high-value personal property. Explanation. A personal articles floater (PAF) in inland marine insurance is designed to provide broader and more comprehensive coverage for high-value personal properties such as jewelry, furs, fine art, and cameras. This type of floater offers protection beyond what is typically available in a standard homeowners policy, covering a wide range of risks including theft, accidental loss, and mysterious disappearance. In Illinois, a PAF can be essential for individuals who own valuable items that exceed the coverage limits of their standard policies. Question 38. Scenario: Mrs. Carter, a resident of Illinois, has a homeowner's insurance policy with loss of use coverage. Coverage D. Her home is damaged by a covered peril, making it uninhabitable. Which of the following expenses would typically be covered under her loss of use coverage? A. The cost of repairing her home. B. The cost of purchasing new furniture. C. The additional living expenses incurred while her home is being repaired. D. The cost of replacing damaged personal property. Correct answer: C. The additional living expenses incurred while her home is being repaired. Explanation: loss of use coverage. Coverage D in a homeowner's insurance policy provides reimbursement for additional living expenses that the insured incurs if their home becomes uninhabitable due to a covered peril. These expenses can include temporary housing, meals, and other costs associated with maintaining a normal standard of living while the home is being repaired. This coverage ensures that policyholders like Mrs. Carter are not financially burdened by additional costs during the repair period. The cost of repairing the home, replacing furniture, and damaged personal property would be covered under other parts of the policy, such as Coverage E was dwelling and Coverage C, personal property. Question 39. In Illinois, what is the primary purpose of the insuring agreement in a personal auto policy? A. To list the definitions of terms used in the policy. B. To outline the exclusions and limitations of the policy. C. To specify the premium amount to be paid by the insured. D. To state the insurer's promise to pay for covered losses. Correct answer: D. To state the insurer's promise to pay for covered losses. Explanation: the insuring agreement in a personal auto policy is the section that outlines the insurer's commitment to pay for covered losses or to provide certain services to the insured. This agreement is the core of the insurance contract, detailing what is covered under the policy and under what conditions the insurer will make payments or provide benefits. It establishes the foundation of the coverage and the insurer's obligations. Definitions of terms, exclusions and limitations, and premium details are typically found in other sections of the policy. Question 40. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in personal lines insurance? A. Ensuring the policyholder receives compensation equal to the policy limits. B. Guaranteeing that the policyholder profits from a loss. C. Compensating the insured to restore them to their financial position before the loss. D. Providing unlimited coverage for any loss incurred by the insured. Correct answer: C. Compensating the insured to restore them to their financial position before the loss. Explanation: the principle of indemnity is a fundamental concept in insurance, including personal lines insurance. It means that the insurance policy aims to restore the insured to the same financial position they were in before the loss occurred, without allowing them to profit from the claim. This principle prevents moral hazard and ensures that the insured does not benefit financially from an insured event. In Illinois, as in other states, policies are designed to provide compensation that matches the extent of the loss, subject to policy limits and conditions, but not to exceed the actual financial impact of the loss. Question 41. Scenario: Mr. Thompson, a resident of Illinois, owns a boat that he uses recreationally. He wants to ensure he has comprehensive coverage for his watercraft. Which type of policy should Mr. Thompson consider to cover physical damage to his boat? A. Personal umbrella policy. B. Homeowners insurance policy. C. Inland marine insurance policy. D. Watercraft insurance policy. Correct answer: D. Watercraft insurance policy. Explanation: a watercraft insurance policy is specifically designed to provide comprehensive coverage for boats and other personal watercraft. This type of policy covers physical damage to the boat, including losses caused by collisions, theft, vandalism, and other perils. While homeowners insurance may offer limited coverage for small boats, it typically does not provide the comprehensive protection needed for larger watercraft. Inland marine insurance is more appropriate for high-value personal items that are often in transit. A personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage but does not cover physical damage to the boat. In Illinois, as elsewhere, watercraft insurance is the most suitable option for Mr. Thompson to ensure his boat is adequately protected. Question 42. In Illinois, which of the following is considered an unfair trade practice in insurance? A. Charging different premiums based on the insured's driving record. B. Misrepresenting policy terms to an applicant. C. Offering discounts for bundling multiple policies. D. Using actuarial data to determine premium rates. Correct answer. B. Misrepresenting policy terms to an applicant. Explanation. Misrepresenting policy terms to an applicant is considered an unfair trade practice in insurance. This involves providing false or misleading information about the terms, benefits, or conditions of an insurance policy to induce a person to purchase, cancel, or lapse a policy. Such practices are prohibited under the Illinois Insurance Code and are subject to regulatory action and penalties. Charging different premiums based on driving records, offering discounts for bundling policies, and using actuarial data for premium determination are standard practices in the industry and are not considered unfair trade practices as they are based on legitimate underwriting and pricing considerations. Question 43. Which of the following is a key component of the personal auto policy PAP in Illinois that provides coverage for medical expenses incurred by the insured and passengers in the event of an accident? A. Liability coverage, Part A. B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D. Correct answer. B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. Explanation. Medical payments coverage, Part B, in a personal auto policy, PAP, covers medical expenses for the insured and passengers in the vehicle at the time of an accident, regardless of who is at fault. This coverage can help pay for necessary and reasonable medical and funeral expenses. Liability coverage, Part A, covers damages for bodily injury and property damage for which the insured is legally responsible. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, provides protection when the insured is involved in an accident with a driver who has insufficient or no insurance. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D, covers physical damage to the insured's vehicle. Medical payments coverage is critical for addressing immediate medical costs following an accident in Illinois. Question 44. Scenario. Mrs. Lopez has a homeowner's insurance policy in Illinois. During a severe storm, a tree falls on her detached garage, causing significant damage. Which part of her homeowner's insurance policy would cover the repairs to the garage? A. Coverage dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Correct answer. B. Coverage B. Other structures. Explanation. Coverage B. Other structures in a homeowner's insurance policy provides coverage for structures on the property that are not attached to the main dwelling. This includes detached garages, sheds, fences, and other similar structures. In the event of a covered peril, such as a storm causing a tree to fall on a detached garage, Coverage B would pay for the repairs. Coverage dwelling pertains to the main residence itself. Coverage C, personal property, covers the personal belongings of the insured. Coverage D, loss of use, provides for additional living expenses if the insured home is uninhabitable due to a covered loss. In Illinois, ensuring adequate coverage for detached structures is an important aspect of homeowners insurance. Question 45. Under Illinois insurance law, which of the following is required to prove a claim for uninsured motorist coverage? A. Proof of liability of the uninsured driver. B. A police report of the accident. C. A statement from the uninsured driver admitting fault. D. A witness to the accident. Correct answer. B. A police report of the accident. Explanation. In Illinois, to claim uninsured motorist coverage, the insured must typically provide a police report of the accident. This report serves as official documentation of the incident and is necessary to establish that the other driver was uninsured. Proof of liability of the uninsured driver, while important, is generally determined through the claims process and supported by the police report. A statement from the uninsured driver admitting fault is unlikely to be obtained and is not required. While having a witness to the accident can be beneficial, it is not a mandatory requirement to prove an uninsured motorist claim. The police report is the primary document used to substantiate the claim and facilitate the coverage process. Question 46. In Illinois, which of the following describes the principle of utmost good faith in personal lines insurance? A. The insurer's obligation to pay claims promptly and fairly. B. The policyholder's duty to disclose all relevant information honestly and accurately. C. The requirement for insurers to follow state regulations. D. The policyholder's responsibility to maintain their property. Correct answer. B. The policyholder's duty to disclose all relevant information honestly and accurately. Explanation. The principle of utmost good faith in insurance obligates both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and not withhold critical information. For policyholders, this means they must disclose all relevant facts accurately and honestly when applying for insurance and during the policy term. This principle ensures that the insurer has all necessary information to accurately assess risk and set premiums. In Illinois, failure to uphold this duty can result in policy voidance or denial of claims. The insurer's obligation to pay claims promptly and fairly, while essential, is not the definition of utmost good faith. Following state regulations and maintaining property are important responsibilities, but are not the core of this principle. Question 47. Scenario. Mr. Thompson has a personal umbrella policy in Illinois. He is sued for $1 million following an accident where his regular auto insurance covers $300,000 of liability. What is Mr. Thompson's personal umbrella policy likely to cover? A. The full $1 million. B. The remaining $700,000. C. Only the legal fees. D. Nothing, since his auto insurance already paid. Correct answer. B. The remaining $700,000. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage above the limits of the insured's primary policies, such as auto or homeowners insurance. In this scenario, Mr. Thompson's auto insurance covers $300,000 of the liability, leaving $700,000 uncovered. His personal umbrella policy would typically cover this remaining amount up to the policy limits, thereby protecting Mr. Thompson from paying out of pocket. The policy does not cover the full $1 million, but rather supplements the primary insurance to cover the excess liability. Legal fees may also be covered under the umbrella policy, but the primary function is to provide additional liability coverage. Question 48. Which of the following best describes insurable interest in the context of Illinois personal lines insurance? A. The policyholder's financial loss if the insured property is damaged or destroyed. B. The insurer's obligation to provide coverage regardless of risk assessment. C. The amount of coverage the insurer is willing to offer. D. The policyholder's obligation to pay premiums on time. Correct answer A. The policyholder's financial loss if the insured property is damaged or destroyed. Explanation. Insurable interest is a fundamental principle in insurance that requires the policyholder to have a financial interest in the insured property. This means that the policyholder would suffer financial loss if the property were damaged or destroyed. This principle ensures that insurance is used for legitimate protection against loss rather than for gambling or speculation. In Illinois, having an insurable interest is a prerequisite for purchasing insurance, so without it, the policy would be invalid. The insurer's obligation to provide coverage is contingent on risk assessment, not irrespective of it. The amount of coverage and the policyholder's obligation to pay premiums are important aspects of the insurance contract, but do not define insurable interest. Question 49. In Illinois, which of the following is considered an unfair trade practice in insurance? A. Charging different premiums based on age. B. Offering discounts for bundle policies. C. Misrepresenting policy benefits to a potential customer. D. Requiring a deductible for certain claims. Correct answer. C. Misrepresenting policy benefits to a potential customer. Explanation. Unfair trade practices in insurance include activities that deceive or mislead consumers. Misrepresenting policy benefits to a potential customer is an example of such a practice because it involves providing false or misleading information about what a policy covers or the extent of its benefits. This can lead consumers to make uninformed or harmful decisions regarding their insurance needs. Charging different premiums based on age is generally accepted as it reflects the risk associated with different age groups. Offering discounts for bundled policies is a common practice and encourages customers to purchase multiple policies from the same insurer. Requiring a deductible for certain claims is standard policy practice to reduce minor claims and share the cost burden between the insurer and the insured. Question 50. Scenario: Mrs. Gonzalez owns a home in Illinois and has a standard homeowner's insurance policy. HO3. A severe storm damages her roof, causing water to leak into the house and ruin her furniture. Which coverage part of her policy will pay for the damaged furniture? A. Coverage we're willing. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Loss of use. Correct answer: C. Coverage C. Personal property. Explanation: in a standard homeowner's insurance policy, HO3 Coverage C. Personal property provides protection for personal belongings inside the home. This includes furniture, electronics, clothing, and other personal items. When Mrs. Gonzalez's roof is damaged by a storm and water leaks into the house, the damage to her furniture falls under Coverage C. Coverage D was Welling covers the structure of the home, such as the roof and walls. Coverage B, other structures, applies to detached structures like garages and sheds. Coverage D, loss of use, provides for additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable due to a covered peril, but it does not cover personal property damage directly. Question 51. Which of the following statements about Illinois uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, in a personal auto policy is true? A. It covers damages to your vehicle caused by an uninsured driver. B. It pays for injuries you or your passengers sustain in an accident with an uninsured driver. C. It covers property damage you cause while driving without insurance. D. It only applies when you are at fault in an accident. Correct answer: B. It pays for injuries you or your passengers sustain in an accident with an uninsured driver. Explanation: uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, Part C, in a personal auto policy provides protection if you or your passengers are injured in an accident with a driver who does not have insurance or does not have sufficient insurance to cover the damages. This coverage pays for medical expenses, lost wages, and other related costs resulting from the accident. It does not cover damages to your vehicle. That would be addressed under collision coverage, Part D. Uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage also does not cover property damage you cause while driving without insurance or when you are at fault in an accident. A liability coverage would address those situations. This type of coverage is crucial in states like Illinois to protect insured drivers from financially irresponsible drivers. Question 52. In Illinois, which of the following is a primary benefit of having a personal umbrella policy? A. It provides coverage for damages to your home due to natural disasters. B. It offers protection for liability claims that exceed the limits of your underlying policies. C. It covers the cost of medical treatments for injuries sustained in a car accident. D. It insures personal property that is lost or damaged outside of the home. Correct answer: B. It offers protection for liability claims that exceed the limits of your underlying policies. Explanation: a personal umbrella policy provides an additional layer of liability protection beyond the limits of underlying policies, such as homeowners or auto insurance. This policy kicks in when the liability limits of these underlying policies are exhausted due to a large claim or lawsuit. It does not cover damages to your home, medical treatments for car accident injuries, or personal property lost or damaged outside the home. Instead, it offers broader protection for various liability scenarios, such as major legal judgments or settlements, which can be crucial for protecting personal assets from significant financial exposure. Question 53. Scenario: Mr. Thompson has a dwelling policy DP3 for his rental property in Illinois. A fire damages the kitchen and he is forced to rent another property while repairs are underway. Which coverage under the DP3 policy will help cover the cost of renting a temporary residence? A. Coverage as dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Fair rental value. Correct answer: D. Coverage D. Fair rental value. Explanation: Coverage D. Fair rental value under dwelling policy DP3 provides compensation for loss of rental income when a property is uninhabitable due to a covered loss, such as a fire. This coverage helps to replace lost income that Mr. Thompson would have received from renting out his property while it is being repaired. Coverage was dwelling, covers the structure itself. Coverage B, other structures, covers structures not attached to the dwelling, e.g. garages or sheds. And coverage C, personal property, covers the insured's personal belongings inside the dwelling. However, coverage D specifically addresses the financial impact of losing rental income due to a covered loss. Question 54. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in insurance? A. Requires the insured to purchase additional coverage to match the replacement cost of their property. B. It allows the insured to recover more than the actual value of their loss. C. It ensures the insured is restored to the same financial position they were in before the loss occurred. D. It provides an automatic increase in policy limits each year. Correct answer. C. It ensures the insured is restored to the same financial position they were in before the loss occurred. Explanation. The principle of indemnity is fundamental to insurance and ensures that the insured is compensated only up to the actual amount of their loss, restoring them to their pre-loss financial position. This principle prevents insured parties from profiting from their insurance policy. It does not require the purchase of additional coverage. A. Does not allow for recovery above the actual value of the loss. B. And does not involve automatic increases in policy limits. D. Instead, it focuses on equitable compensation that reflects the financial impact of a loss without exceeding the actual amount of the loss. Question 55. In Illinois, which of the following situations would likely be covered by a personal auto policy PAP under Part C, uninsured and insured motorist coverage? A collision with a vehicle driven by a driver who has liability insurance, but it is insufficient to cover the damages. B. A property damage claim for a vehicle that was vandalized while parked. C. Medical expenses for injuries sustained in a vehicle accident caused by an uninsured driver. D. Damage to a vehicle caused by a falling tree branch. Correct answer. C. Medical expenses for injuries sustained in a vehicle accident caused by an uninsured driver. Explanation. Part C of a personal auto policy (PAP) provides uninsured and insured motorist coverage, which covers medical expenses and other damages for injuries sustained in an accident with a driver who either does not have insurance or has insufficient insurance to cover the full extent of the damages. It does not cover property damage claims for vandalism, B. falling tree branches, D. or situations where the at-fault driver has insurance but it's inadequate. This coverage is specifically designed to protect against the financial impact of accidents involving uninsured or underinsured motorists. Question 56. Scenario: Ms. Lopez is renting a home in Illinois and is considering purchasing a dwelling policy D1. She is concerned about coverage for her personal belongings. Which policy coverage should she be aware of that specifically addresses this concern? A. Coverage with dwelling. B. Coverage B. Other structures. C. Coverage C. Personal property. D. Coverage D. Fair rental value. Correct answer. C. Coverage C. Personal property. Explanation. Coverage C under dwelling policy D1 addresses personal property within the dwelling. It provides protection for the insured's personal belongings against covered perils. Coverage dwelling covers the structure itself. Coverage B, other structures, covers structures not attached to the dwelling. And coverage D, fair rental value, covers loss of rental income. Since Ms. Lopez is concerned about her personal belongings, coverage C is the relevant coverage she should consider for protection of her personal property. Question 57. Which of the following is a key characteristic of the principle of utmost good faith in insurance contracts? A. Mandates that insurers must disclose all material facts to the insured. B. Ensures that the insurance policy covers all potential risks without exception. C. Requires both parties in the insurance contract to fully disclose relevant information and avoid misrepresentation. D. It guarantees coverage for losses regardless of the cause. Correct answer. C. It requires both parties in the insurance contract to fully disclose relevant information and avoid misrepresentation. Explanation. The principle of utmost good faith requires both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and disclose all relevant information related to the insurance contract. This principle is crucial in maintaining transparency and trust in the insurance relationship. It does not ensure coverage for all risks, B, or guarantee coverage regardless of the cause, D, nor does it mandate only the insurer to disclose facts. Instead, it emphasizes the mutual obligation to provide accurate and complete information to avoid misrepresentation and ensure fair dealings. Question 50. In a personal umbrella policy, which of the following would be most likely considered an exclusion? A. Personal injury lawsuits due to defamation. B. Damages resulting from a vehicular accident covered by an auto policy. C. Liability arising from a recreational vehicle accident not covered by any other policy. D. Claims related to professional services provided by the insured. Correct answer. D. Claims related to professional services provided by the insured. Explanation. Personal umbrella policies provide additional liability coverage beyond the limits of underlying policies like auto or homeowners insurance. However, they typically exclude liability related to professional services provided by the insured. This exclusion means that if the insured is sued for errors or omissions in their professional capacity, g. as a lawyer or accountant, the umbrella policy will not cover those claims. Claims related to personal injury lawsuits, say damages from covered vehicular accidents, B, or recreational vehicle accidents, C, would generally be covered provided they are within the policy's scope and limits. Question 59. Scenario. Mr. Harris, a homeowner in Illinois, is reviewing his homeowner's insurance policy. He notices that his policy includes an endorsement for increased coverage on personal property. Which of the following endorsements would most likely increase coverage on personal property? A. Replacement cost endorsement. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. C. Water backup endorsement. D. Identity theft endorsement. Correct answer. B. Scheduled personal property endorsement. Explanation. The scheduled personal property endorsement allows homeowners to increase the coverage limits on valuable personal properties such as jewelry, art, or collectibles. This endorsement provides additional coverage beyond the standard limits of a homeowner's policy and is especially useful for high-value items. The replacement cost endorsement A pertains to replacing damaged property at current costs rather than actual cash value. The water backup endorsement C covers damages from sewer backup, and the identity theft endorsement D covers losses related to identity theft, none of which specifically increase coverage on personal property itself. Question 60. Which principle in insurance emphasizes that an insured must have a financial interest in the subject of the insurance? A. Principle of indemnity. B. Principle of subrogation. C. Principle of insurable interest. D. Principle of utmost good faith. Correct answer. C. Principle of insurable interest. Explanation. The principle of insurable interest requires that the insured have a financial interest in the subject of the insurance, meaning they would suffer a financial loss if the insured property or person were damaged or lost. This principle ensures that insurance contracts are used to protect genuine financial interests rather than for speculative purposes. The principle of indemnity A focuses on restoring the insured to their pre-loss financial state. The principle of subrogation B involves the insurer's right to pursue recovery from third parties after paying a claim, and the principle of utmost good faith D requires honesty and full disclosure from both parties in the insurance contract. Question 61. In a personal auto policy PAP, which of the following coverages would apply if a driver is involved in an accident where they are at fault and the other driver has no insurance? A. Liability coverage. B. Medical payments coverage. C. Uninsured motorist coverage. D. Collision coverage. Correct answer. C. Uninsured motorist coverage. Explanation. Uninsured motorist coverage provides protection when the insured is involved in an accident with a driver who has no insurance or inadequate insurance. It covers the costs of injuries and sometimes damages to the insured and their passengers if the at-fault driver is uninsured. Liability coverage. It pays for damages the insured is legally liable for but does not cover the insured's injuries. Medical payments coverage. B covers medical expenses for injuries sustained by the insured and their passengers regardless of fault but does not address the issue of uninsured drivers. Collision coverage. D pays for damage to the insured's vehicle after an accident. but does not cover injuries or damages from an uninsured driver. Question 62. Scenario MS. Ramirez has a homeowner's insurance policy in Illinois with standard coverage. A neighbor's tree falls on her house, causing significant damage. Which type of endorsement should MS? Ramirez consider if she wants to ensure that damages from falling objects are fully covered? A. Personal property endorsement. B. Dwelling coverage endorsement. C. Equipment breakdown endorsement. D. Increased coverage for falling objects endorsement. Correct answer. B. Dwelling coverage endorsement. Explanation. The dwelling coverage endorsement can be used to increase the coverage limits on the dwelling itself, ensuring that damage from falling objects, such as a neighbor's tree, is fully covered. While the standard homeowner's policy typically includes coverage for damage caused by falling objects, increasing the dwelling coverage ensures adequate financial protection. The personal property endorsement A increases coverage for personal items but not the dwelling. The equipment breakdown endorsement C covers damages to appliances and systems, while the increased coverage for falling objects endorsement D is not a standard endorsement but represents the general idea of increasing coverage for specific perils. Question 63. Which principle of insurance focuses on ensuring that the insured does not profit from a loss but rather is returned to their financial position before the loss occurred? A. Principle of subrogation. B. Principle of indemnity. C. Principle of insurable interest. D. Principle of utmost good faith. Correct answer. B. Principle of indemnity. Explanation. The principle of indemnity ensures that the insured is restored to their financial position prior to the loss without gaining or losing financially from the insurance payout. This principle prevents the insured from profiting from a claim. The principle of subrogation allows the insurer to seek recovery from third parties after paying a claim. The principle of insurable interest C requires the insured to have a financial stake in the subject of the insurance. The principle of utmost good faith D necessitates that both parties in the insurance contract act honestly and disclose all relevant information. Question 64. Which of the following coverages in a personal auto policy PAP would help pay for medical expenses for injuries sustained by passengers in the insured's vehicle regardless of fault? A. Liability coverage. B. Collision coverage. C. Medical payments coverage. D. Uninsured motorist coverage. Correct answer. C. Medical payments coverage. Explanation. Medical payments coverage is designed to cover medical expenses for injuries sustained by the insured and their passengers, regardless of who is at fault for the accident. Liability coverage covers damages for which the insured is legally responsible but does not cover medical expenses for passengers. Collision coverage B pays for damage to the insured's vehicle after an accident, not for passenger injuries. Uninsured motorist coverage D covers injuries and damages caused by an uninsured driver but does not cover medical expenses for passengers if the insured is at fault. Question 65. Scenario. Mr. Thompson's home in Illinois has been damaged by a fire and he has incurred additional living expenses while his home is being repaired. What type of coverage in his homeowner's insurance policy will cover these additional living expenses? A. Dwelling coverage. B. Loss of use coverage. C. Personal property coverage. D. Liability coverage. Correct answer. B. Loss of use coverage. Explanation. Loss of use coverage, also known as additional living expenses, provides financial assistance for additional living expenses incurred while the insured's home is being repaired or rebuilt after a covered loss such as a fire. Dwelling coverage covers repairs or replacement of the home itself, not additional living expenses. Personal property coverage C covers damages or losses to the insured's personal belongings. Liability coverage D provides protection against claims of bodily injury or property damage for which the insured is legally liable but does not cover additional living expenses. Question 66. Which principle of insurance ensures that both the insurer and the insured have a clear and mutual understanding of the terms of the insurance contract, including the disclosures and representations made by both parties? A. Principle of utmost good faith. B. Principle of indemnity. C. Principle of insurable interest. D. Principle of subrogation. Correct answer: A. Principle of utmost good faith. Explanation: the principle of utmost good faith requires that both parties in an insurance contract disclose all relevant information and understand the terms and conditions of the policy. This principle ensures transparency and honesty in the agreement. The principle of indemnity (B) focuses on restoring the insured to their financial position prior to the loss. The principle of insurable interest (C) requires that the insured have a financial interest in the insured property. The principle of subrogation (D) allows the insurer to pursue recovery from third parties after paying a claim but does not pertain to the understanding of the contract's terms. Question 67. Which of the following is true about the coverage provided by a personal umbrella policy? A. It provides coverage for damages related to property damage or bodily injury claims that exceed the limits of underlying policies. B. It covers damages to the insured's own property resulting from a natural disaster. C. It provides coverage for business-related liability claims. D. It covers the insured's personal property while traveling outside the country. Correct answer: A. It provides coverage for damages related to property damage or bodily injury claims that exceed the limits of underlying policies. Explanation: a personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage above and beyond the limits of underlying policies such as auto and homeowners insurance. This coverage is intended to protect the insured from significant liability claims that exceed the limits of their basic policies. It does not cover the insured's own property damages, B. business-related liability, C. or personal property while traveling outside the country, D. Question 60. Scenario: MS. Garcia has a homeowner's insurance policy with coverage C, personal property, and is planning to take an expensive jewelry collection on vacation. What type of coverage should MS Garcia consider to ensure her jewelry is adequately protected while traveling? A. Scheduled personal property endorsement. B. Dwelling coverage. C. Loss of use coverage. D. Personal liability coverage. Correct answer: A. Scheduled personal property endorsement. Explanation: a scheduled personal property endorsement provides additional coverage for valuable items such as jewelry, furs, and art, both at home and while traveling. This endorsement is designed to protect high-value items from risks that may not be fully covered under standard personal property coverage. Coverage C. Dwelling coverage. B. Pertains to the structure of the home. Loss of use coverage. C. Covers additional living expenses. And personal liability coverage. D. Addresses liability for bodily injury or property damage claims, not personal property. Question 69. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in insurance? A. The insured is entitled to receive a payout that exceeds the value of the loss to cover additional expenses. B. The insured is compensated for the financial loss incurred without any gain or loss beyond the original state before the loss. C. The insurer assumes responsibility for damages or injuries caused by a third party. D. The insurer has the right to pursue recovery from responsible third parties after paying a claim. Correct answer: B. The insured is compensated for the financial loss incurred without any gain or loss beyond the original state before the loss. Explanation: the principle of indemnity ensures that the insured is compensated only to the extent of the financial loss suffered without any gain beyond the pre-loss condition. This principle prevents the insured from profiting from an insurance claim. It does not involve paying more than the loss. A. Assuming responsibility for third-party damages. C. Or pursuing recovery from third parties. D. Which are related to different aspects of insurance principles. Question 70. Which of the following is a primary purpose of the risk management process in personal lines insurance? A. To determine the premium amounts for coverage based on risk factors. B. To identify, assess, and prioritize risks, followed by coordinated efforts to minimize, monitor, and control the probability of unfortunate events. C. To investigate and settle claims after a loss occurs. D. To ensure compliance with state insurance regulations and laws. Correct answer: B. To identify, assess, and prioritize risks, followed by coordinated efforts to minimize, monitor, and control the probability of unfortunate events. Explanation: the risk management process focuses on identifying, assessing, and prioritizing risks to manage and mitigate their impact effectively. It involves a proactive approach to prevent or reduce risks rather than just addressing claims or compliance issues. Premium determination A is related to underwriting and pricing. Claims investigation C is part of claims handling and regulatory compliance. D pertains to insurance regulation. Question 71. Scenario: Mr. Smith's auto insurance policy includes uninsured motorist coverage. If Mr. Smith is involved in an accident with an uninsured driver and sustains $20,000 in damages, what action should Mr. Smith take regarding his uninsured motorist coverage? A. File a claim with his own insurer to cover the $20,000 damages. B. Seek compensation directly from the uninsured driver's personal assets. C. Request that his insurer pays the $20,000 directly to the repair shop. D. Wait for the uninsured driver to obtain insurance and then file a claim. Correct answer 8. File a claim with his own insurer to cover the $20,000 damages. Explanation: uninsured motorist coverage is designed to protect the insured from damages caused by drivers who do not have insurance. Mr. Smith should file a claim with his own insurer to cover the damages up to the policy limits. Seeking compensation directly from the uninsured driver, B, or waiting for them to obtain insurance, D, would not be effective, and paying the repair shop directly, C, is not typically how claims are processed. Question 72. Which of the following best describes the coverage provided by a personal auto policy (PAP) for physical damage to the insured's vehicle? A. Liability coverage. B. Medical payments coverage. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage. D. Coverage for damage to your auto. Correct answer: D. Coverage for damage to your auto. Explanation: coverage for damage to your auto, also known as Part D of the Personal Auto Policy (PAP), provides protection for physical damage to the insured's vehicle from various causes such as collision or comprehensive losses. Liability coverage A pertains to damage or injury to others. Medical payments coverage B covers medical expenses and uninsured underinsured motorist coverage. C addresses damages caused by drivers lacking sufficient insurance. Question 73. What is a key characteristic of a personal umbrella policy? A. It provides coverage for damage to property owned by the policyholder. B. It increases the liability limits of underlying policies such as auto and homeowners insurance. C. It specifically covers damage caused by natural disasters like floods and earthquakes. D. It offers coverage for personal property that is frequently traveled with, such as jewelry. Correct answer: B. It increases the liability limits of underlying policies such as auto and homeowners insurance. Explanation: a personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage above the limits of underlying policies such as auto or homeowners insurance. It does not cover personal property directly. A. Natural disasters. C. Or property frequently traveled with. D. Instead, it is designed to protect against large liability claims and lawsuits. Question 74. Scenario: Ms. Johnson has a homeowner's insurance policy with a $100,000 coverage limit. After a fire causes $80,000 worth of damage to her home, what is the likely outcome under her policy's replacement cost provision if her home was insured to value? A. Ms. Johnson will receive $80,000 minus her deductible. B. Ms. Johnson will receive $100,000 minus her deductible. C. Ms. Johnson will receive $80,000 plus any extra amount required to bring the total to $100,000. D. Ms. Johnson will receive the actual cash value of the damage, which is $80,000 minus depreciation. Correct answer: A. Ms. Johnson will receive $80,000 minus her deductible. Explanation: under replacement cost provisions, the insurance will cover the cost to repair or replace the damaged property without deducting for depreciation up to the policy limit. Since Ms. Johnson's coverage limit is $100,000 and the damage is $80,000, she will receive the $80,000 cost of repairs minus her deductible. If the property was insured to value and replacement cost coverage applies, the payout is based on the cost of the damage, not the policy limit or depreciation. Question 75. Which type of inland marine insurance policy would be most appropriate for insuring a collection of valuable stamps? A. Personal property floater. B. Valuable personal property coverage. C. Personal effects coverage. D. Personal articles floater. Correct answer. D. Personal articles floater. Explanation. A personal articles floater is designed to provide coverage for high-value items, such as a stamp collection, on a scheduled basis. Personal property floater A covers various personal items, but may not be as specific. Valuable personal property coverage B is not a standard term for inland marine insurance, and personal effects coverage C typically covers personal items carried while traveling rather than collections. Question 76. Which of the following is typically excluded under a standard homeowners insurance policy's liability coverage? A. Injuries sustained by a guest on the insured property. B. Liability for damages caused by a pet owned by the insured. C. Intentional acts of harm committed by the insured. D. Property damage caused by fire originating on the insured premises. Correct answer. C. Intentional acts of harm committed by the insured. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance liability coverage generally excludes coverage for intentional acts of harm committed by the insured. Coverage typically includes protection for accidents causing injury to others, A. Liability for damage caused by pets, B. And property damage due to fire originating on the insured premises, D. However, intentional acts are not covered under liability insurance. Question 77. Scenario. Mr. Thompson is involved in a car accident in Illinois and he is found at fault. His auto insurance policy includes $25,000 of liability coverage per person for bodily injury and $50,000 per accident. If two people are injured with $30,000 and $20,000 in medical expenses, what is the maximum amount Mr. Thompson's insurance will pay for these claims? A. $30,000. B. $50,000. C. $50,000. D. $70,000. Correct answer. B. $50,000. Explanation. In Illinois, Mr. Thompson's auto insurance liability coverage has a limit of $25,000 per person for bodily injury, but a total of $50,000 per accident. Since the combined medical expenses of the two injured parties are $50,000, $30,000 plus $20,000, the insurance will cover up to the maximum per accident limit, which is $50,000. Therefore, the insurance will pay $50,000 for these claims. Question 70. Which of the following best describes the purpose of a personal auto policy PAP endorsement? A. It changes the policy's basic coverage by adding or modifying specific terms. B. It increases the amount of coverage available for loss or damage to the vehicle. C. It provides additional coverage for personal property inside the vehicle. D. It extends coverage to vehicles not listed on the original policy. Question 79. What does a scheduled personal property endorsement typically cover in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. Coverage for property stolen from an insured vehicle. B. Higher limits for specific valuable items like jewelry or artwork. C. Additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable. D. Liability protection for injuries occurring on the insured property. Question 79. What does a scheduled personal property endorsement typically cover in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. Coverage for property stolen from an insured vehicle. B. Higher limits for specific valuable items like jewelry or artwork. C. Additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable. D. Liability protection for injuries occurring on the insured property. Correct answer. B. Higher limits for specific valuable items like jewelry or artwork. Explanation. A scheduled personal property endorsement in a homeowner's insurance policy provides higher limits and specific coverage for valuable items such as jewelry, fine art, or collectibles. These items are often excluded or have lower limits under the standard policy. It does not cover property stolen from an insured vehicle. A. Additional living expenses. C. Or liability protection. D. Question 80. Scenario: Ms. Rodriguez's home in Illinois is damaged by a tornado. Her homeowner's insurance policy includes $150,000 in dwelling coverage and $25,000 in other structures coverage if the tornado causes $120,000 worth of damage to the dwelling and $10,000 damage to a detached garage. What amount will her policy cover for these damages? A. $120,000. B. $130,000. C. $150,000. D. $170,000. Correct answer: B. $130,000. Explanation: in this scenario, Ms. Rodriguez's homeowner's insurance policy will cover the damages as follows: $120,000 for the dwelling, which is within the $150,000 dwelling coverage limit, and $10,000 for the detached garage, which is within the $25,000 other structures coverage limit. The total covered amount will be $130,000, $120,000 plus $10,000. Question 81. Which of the following is typically considered an exclusion under Standard Dwelling Policy D1? A. Fire damage to the dwelling. B. Theft of personal property. C. Vandalism or malicious mischief. D. Windstorm damage. Correct answer: B. Theft of personal property. Explanation: Standard Dwelling Policy D1 generally excludes coverage for theft of personal property, while it provides coverage for fire damage, A. Vandalism or malicious mischief, C. and windstorm damage. D. Theft of personal property is usually not included in this basic form of coverage. Additional endorsements or policy upgrades may be required to cover theft. Question 82. Which principle of insurance requires that an insured should not profit from a loss but should be restored to the same financial position they were in before the loss? A. Insurable interest. B. Utmost good faith. C. Indemnity. D. Risk management. Correct answer: C. Indemnity. Explanation: the principle of indemnity ensures that an insured is compensated for their loss without profiting from it, effectively restoring them to their pre-loss financial position. This principle is fundamental in insurance to prevent overcompensation and ensure fair compensation. It does not pertain to insurable interest, A. Utmost good faith, B. or risk management, D. which are distinct concepts. Question 83. Scenario: Mr. Thompson has a personal auto policy, PAP, in Illinois. He was involved in an accident where the other driver was at fault and had minimal insurance coverage. Mr. Thompson's injuries total $15,000 and his vehicle damage is $5,000. His uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage has a limit of $20,000 for bodily injury. How much will Mr. Thompson's policy cover for his bodily injuries? A. $15,000. B. $20,000. C. $5,000. D. $30,000. Correct answer: A. $15,000. Explanation: under the uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, Mr. Thompson's policy will cover up to the limit of $20,000 for bodily injury. Since his injuries amount to $15,000, his policy will cover the full $15,000. The vehicle damage, $5,000, is separate and covered under the collision coverage or another applicable part of the policy. Thus, the policy covers $15,000 for bodily injuries, not more. Question 84. In which situation would a personal umbrella policy provide coverage? A. Damage to a personal vehicle in a collision. B. A lawsuit for defamation of character. C. Medical payments to others after a home accident. D. Theft of personal property from a dwelling. Correct answer: B. A lawsuit for defamation of character. Explanation: a personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage beyond the limits of underlying policies and can cover claims such as a lawsuit for defamation of character. It does not cover vehicle collision damage, A. Medical payments to others, C. or theft of personal property, D. as these are typically covered by other types of policies or endorsements. Question 85. Which of the following is a primary purpose of a personal umbrella policy? A. To increase the limits of underlying auto and homeowners insurance policies. B. To provide coverage for damage to personal property in a dwelling. C. To cover medical expenses related to health issues. D. To offer protection against losses from uninsured motorist accidents. Correct answer A. To increase the limits of underlying auto and homeowners insurance policies. Explanation. The main purpose of a personal umbrella policy is to provide additional liability coverage above the limits of underlying policies such as auto and homeowners insurance. It does not cover damage to personal property. B. Health-related medical expenses. C. Or uninsured motorist accidents. D. As these are addressed by other insurance types. Question 86. Scenario MS. Ramirez owns a home in Massachusetts and has a homeowner's insurance policy. Her home suffers damage from a fire that started in a neighboring property, which was deemed to be the result of negligence. Her policy covers up to $250,000 for dwelling damage. The fire caused $275,000 in damage. What amount will MS Ramirez's homeowner's insurance cover for the damage? A. $250,000. B. $275,000. C. $225,000. D. $200,000. Correct answer A. $250,000. Explanation. Homeowners insurance policies typically have coverage limits, in this case $250,000 for dwelling damage. Since the fire damage amounted to $275,000, the policy will cover only up to its limit of $250,000. The remaining $25,000 of damage would be the homeowner's responsibility unless additional coverage or endorsements apply. Question 87. What is a common exclusion found in most dwelling policies? DIWA, DPO, DIPA 3. A. Coverage for flood damage. B. Protection for personal property within the dwelling. C. Liability coverage for injuries occurring on the property. D. Coverage for damage caused by wear and tear. Correct answer A. Coverage for flood damage. Explanation. Dwelling policies typically exclude coverage for flood damage, which is usually covered by separate flood insurance policies. Coverage for personal property, B, and liability, C, might be included in some dwelling policies, and wear and tear, D, is generally excluded from all types of property insurance due to its gradual nature. Question 88. Which of the following is true regarding the coverage limits of a personal auto policy PAP in Illinois? A. The policy automatically includes coverage for any additional drivers in the household without needing to be listed. B. The policy limit for uninsured motorist coverage must match the liability coverage limit unless rejected by the insured. C. The policy excludes coverage for accidents that occur while driving a rental car. D. The policy provides coverage for intentional acts of damage caused by the insured. Correct answer. B. The policy limit for uninsured motorist coverage must match the liability coverage limit unless rejected by the insured. Explanation. In Illinois, uninsured motorist coverage limits must match the liability coverage limits on a personal auto policy unless the insured opts to reject or lower it. Coverage does not automatically extend to additional drivers unless they are listed. A. Rental car accidents are covered. C. Unless excluded by endorsement, and intentional acts are excluded. D. From coverage due to being deliberate actions. Question 89. Scenario. Mr. Johnson's home in Illinois has suffered damage from a severe hailstorm. He has a homeowner's insurance policy that includes a $1,000 deductible for storm damage. The total cost to repair the damage is $8,000. How much will Mr. Johnson's insurance policy pay for the repairs? A. $7,000. B. $8,000. C. $6,000. D. $9,000. Correct answer A. $7,000. Explanation. In this scenario, Mr. Johnson's homeowner's insurance policy has a $1,000 deductible for $8,000 in damage. The deductible amount is subtracted from the total repair cost. Therefore, the policy will cover $7,000, $8,000, $1,000 deductible. Question 90. Which principle of insurance is demonstrated by requiring a homeowner to purchase coverage that reflects the value of their home? A. Principle of utmost good faith. B. Principle of indemnity. C. Principle of insurable interest. D. Principle of subrogation. Correct answer. B. Principle of indemnity. Explanation: the principle of indemnity ensures that the insured is compensated for their loss without exceeding their pre-loss financial position. Requiring homeowners to purchase coverage that reflects the value of their home adheres to this principle by ensuring they are neither overcompensated nor undercompensated for their loss. The other principles include utmost good faith, A, which requires honest disclosure, insurable interest, C, ensuring a financial stake in the insured property, and subrogation, D, which involves the insurer's right to recover costs from a third party.